Hey, welcome back to San Diego Living. Okay, you should have this month's electric bill sitting there on your desk someplace, and when this segment's over, you're going to go pick it up and look at it, and I promise you, you're actually going to understand it, maybe for the first time. Artie Rose from Solar Alliance of America is here today to talk about when you get solar, it starts with understanding the bill that you are getting from SDG&E,
right.
And it all starts to make sense once you understand the bill.
One of the things that we do, Mark, as a service to homeowners is we go out and explain to them how solar basically pays for itself. And we start off by looking at a utility bill and showing people how the tiers, how SDG&E charges us and why sometimes our bills seem a little high for what we're getting.
Now, when you came out to my house, you said you wanted me to have a whole year's worth of bills there, and so we laid them all out, and you went through it step by step. You said, look, tier number 1, cheap electricity, but watch how it gets more expensive. Kind of explain that.
That's kind of, we have a graphic here to basically show people everybody in San Diego County receives what's called a baseline allowance. And in this particular example, there's 358 kilowatts. And that's very, very cheap energy. Even the second tier, the 101 to 130, very, very cheap energy. We don't want to eliminate that. Most homeowners that stay within those first 2 tiers end up with utility bills of maybe $30 to $50.
Okay, folks, so we don't lose you as we're walking you through this. All you have to know, tier number 1, you don't get a lot of that energy for that cheap price, but you get some. Tier number 2, cheap energy, but you don't get a lot of it.
Right.
Then comes tier number 3 and 4, which is where most people in San Diego, especially if you run an air conditioner, that's where you end up. Tier number 3 and then tier number 4, and this is where they sock it to you at this point.
Basically, Mark, the cost of the energy goes up 300% within that month. And once you go into that 3rd and 4th tier, what happens is you start paying all these additional charges. Right in the middle of this graphic here, we see public purpose programs. Anybody that has a bill over $150 pays into public purpose programs. Now this bill, if you look at it, is $224, 1/4 of the bill, 25% is public purpose programs. Now this graphic shows somebody with a solar system that's been able to keep their bill within those first 2 tiers. They don't pay into public purpose programs anymore, and they actually receive a credit of almost $20.
Now here's the thing it's a concept that I really want people to try to grasp here before they call you and have you come out to their house.
Right.
You see that there is still a balance on your bill. You are paying something back to SDG&E.
Right.
Okay. You want to do that because you are paying them for only the cheapest electricity that they provide. It's even cheaper than what you can put a solar system on for.
Right.
So you want to pay that, but you want everything else to be free through solar energy. And that's where Artie comes in and says, let's get rid of tiers 3 and 4, and let's get a solar system on your house, and it's going to cost you less than what you've been paying SDG&E.
In that example, Mark, we showed how the bill went from $224 down to $64.
Right.
Well, what happened to that other $160? What my company does is we show people how to take that $160 that you're paying SDG&E and own a solar system.
And folks, I'm telling you, it's worked for me, it's worked for my parents, it's worked for my neighbors. It takes only about, maybe 20 minutes at the most to explain this to people. And for the first 15 callers, if your bill is $150 a month or more and you own your home, Artie will come out and explain, or somebody from Solar Alliance will come out and explain, and they'll give you a $50 Visa gift card. So be one of the first 15 callers to call that number. And again, all we ask is that your bill be $150 a month or more and that you own your home. You'll get a $50 Visa gift card just to get the explanation. I'm willing to bet that at the end of the explanation you say, how fast can you get this thing on my roof or out and back of my house and get me hooked up?
Most homeowners that we show the program to, because this particular month, Mark, we're doing a special. We call it a July 4th special. But it's an incredible value for people because there's 2 problems that people always tell me about solar energy. One is the initial investment, and number 2 is the payback.
Right.
So for this month through July 4th, we're offering a program where we're going to pay the sales tax, we pay the permit fees, and most importantly, Mark, there is no down payment on the system, and for 18 months on approved credit, there's no payments and no interest.
Now, I just want to vouch for you here on this. I bought a system from you. Outright bought it. You didn't give me a system.
No, you paid.
I paid for it, and I am not paying anything right now. I'm in that 18-month period. The government has already sent me back 30% of the cost of the system.
Right.
The state sent me a couple $1,000s. I put all that on the cost of the system,
right.
but I haven't had a single payment yet, and I won't until the end of the 18-month period. Whatever the balance is at that point, I'll start paying that off, but my payoff, I did the math, you didn't
right.
do it. 4 to 5 years, I own the system, and I've never put out any more than what I'm paying SDG&E.
It's the exact same money. That's the biggest thing that we have to get through to people, Mark. It's, they're going to pay for the system whether they own it or not. You're either going to give the money to the government, give it to the state, or continue giving it to SDG&E, or own a solar system.
All right, so folks, be one of the first 15 callers. Solar Alliance of America, Artie Rose, get on board with this July special, July 4th special, and do it right now. The number's on your screen. Own your home. $150 a month or more on your bill, and they'll come out and rock your world. I promise you. Solar Alliance of America and my friend Artie Rose. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure, Mark.
Nice to see you again. All right, for more information, you go to san diego6.com and you click on San Diego Living.